Hello everyone, welcome back to this video. Now in this video we're going to be talking about a project which obviously I didn't show you guys, which I'm such an idiot for not showing you guys that, because this project was insanely cool. Like, I was shocked when we finished it. We actually made the tumbler. So basically, the one from the Batmobile from the Dark Knight Rises, and it was brilliant. I mean, it was the most amazing vehicle that we ever made. So let me just move you guys so that you guys can see a little bit better. It was the most amazing vehicle that we made, and it was just so hard that we couldn't even figure anything like what to do, because we were planning on what Batmobile we wanted to do. Either it would be 1966 Batmobile, 1989, Batman Forever Batmobile, and like Batman vs Superman and all the other Batmobiles. But we had no clue on what one we wanted to do. So then we started looking at pictures and we were like, okay, what's the most easy looking for our first time ever modifying this? We thought, well, let's do the tumbler. So I was like, we are doing the tumbler. So my jaw dropped and I was like, how the hell are we supposed to do this? So I was looking at videos, I was looking at pictures, and I was looking at gosh, what's his name? I was looking at someone who had made an actual tumbler. I can't remember what they're called. Oh god, I can't remember. But they made their own tumbler, and I was insanely shocked, and I was like, we have to do that. So I was like, well, where do we begin with this? We can't build this thing out of wood. We can't build this thing out of like stainless steel like they did. We actually have to build this from something that's light, because this car I had was a go-kart. It's like pedal powered. It's not engine, not electric, none of that. It was not electric. Geez, it's pedal powered, and so we thought for a while, what can we do to to do this? So we've used this thing which we've never used before. We used foam board. Now this foam board is incredible. I mean, I've used it, I think I've used it technically 3 times now. And basically, when we used it for the Batmobile, we were like, how do we do this? What do we do first? Either the back or the front? So we were like, okay, let's do the back first, and then let's do the front next. So did the front, did the shape, and then we did the what's it called? We did the windows as well, and then in the end, the last thing we did was the it was the the last thing we did was the side fender bits from the tumbler, and they were actually made out of cardboard, because we ran out of foam board and we were like, do we really need to necessarily go to the DIY store and then just grab one big sheet of foam board just for these 2 things that are just going to be on the side, on the front wheels, and then when we turn the steering wheel, they will probably, move at the same time. And so we were like, oh god, it's going to be tricky. So then we thought, let's use cardboard, because we would have got like normal cardboard like pieces from the flaps. So we just thought, choose them, and we wrapped them up in duct tape. So the whole car was wrapped instead of being wrapped in like a wrap for a car, we wrapped the whole thing all in duct tape, like the whole thing the um from the front to the roof to the back and then to the bottom. And funny enough, for the afterburner, we actually used a giant gosh, it was a giant cake tin. That's it. It was a cake tin. It was a really clever idea using that because I thought if we use a Coke can or I don't know something else, it's not gonna look as great. We even came up with the idea of actually using this clever thing where we thought, well, if the Batmobile, when we take this thing down the streets and stuff, how are we gonna be able to make it work? How's it going to be able to drive? How on earth are we actually supposed to be like? Which will not be? How on earth are we supposed to be maneuverable in this thing on the street? Because number one, you couldn't even see behind. I had to open the door. I had to look behind me, and when I was backing up, or I don't know, or something, and it was just so hard that I thought, just get out and push the thing back, turn it around, and then hop back in. So we're like, okay, let's just do that then. So we did that, and then it worked pretty well. But then we just came up with the idea of maybe like change it up, or I don't know. And then with the back, we actually came up with the idea of maybe let's bring a little bit, just a touch, this much of 1989 Michael Keaton, Tim Burton Batmobile in. Because we thought, cause obviously, the back of the tumbler, I mean, it's like almost like I don't know how you say this, but it's almost like a giant square that goes like that. Um, but yeah, so with this thing, we didn't put like big chunky off-road tires in the back, or excuse me, or like any other stuff. We just left the tires by themselves, even though we did put more black duct tape on them, and kind of made it look really cool, and it looked very meany, like really like proper to the top, like really angry mean. But then 2 weeks later, after we built this thing, or during the build restoration, we had it at the side of the house, wrapped in a with a tarp on top that was from a bike, I don't know, something we had. And the next day, I pulled off the top, and I'm thinking, yes, it's fine. And what happened was one time the top fell off in the night. So one weekend, I was like, we're gonna go on the Batmobile, we're gonna have some fun, I don't know, drive it around the streets or whatever. And all of a sudden, I see that the door has like basically, by the way, one of these doors were opening, which was the left, because obviously on the right outside of the Batmobile there was like a handbrake, and obviously it was like on the outside of the car, so it was like that. It wasn't inside the car with us, it was like outside, so we couldn't reach it. And so we were like, gosh, what do we do? And so I was like, I think we'll be fine, 100%. So we were like, okay then, that's, and then, it did kind of sometimes start falling apart. But it was fine, it was kind of repairable. But then one time, the whole roof started, what do you call it, like caving in on me. And I was just so, like, shocked. I mean, I was, like, insanely shocked. So I was like, what do we do now? We can't just, like, put a beam in the middle inside the car and, expect to have a giant beam in the middle where, it's not comfortable in this car, it really was not. And I was like, what do we do from here? So we had the idea that maybe we could just we could just repair it. And we're like, yeah, okay. So I repaired it. And then when it was Halloween, this was my first time going out on Halloween with this car. Oh my god. Because I didn't have a real Batman suit. I just, not joking, straight after school, right away, like the minute I got home, right away, oh gosh, jeez, oh no. Okay, sorry about that, we're back. So like I was saying, as soon as I got back, I immediately grabbed a black hoodie, a black hat, and what I did with the hat was I pulled it on my head, and then I cut, obviously not poking, like, scissors into me, because you know, I could actually stab myself. I put the thing on, and then what I did was I pinched the hat, so I knew where the eye hole bit was, and I cut it out, and then the same thing for the other side. And then we cut a thing for the mouth, obviously no bat is, but it was so sick. And then on Halloween, obviously I didn't have any headlights, but however I did have the afterburner in the back. That was pretty cool. And as soon as I left the house, I saw somebody, one of our neighbours, who lives like four doors away, yeah, it was 4 doors away, and they looked out the window. I saw them look out the window, and they just saw me. They were still there. I was like going like this, like, you know, check them, and they were just still looking at me. And then as soon as I went out of blended in straight into the darkness, it was like so cool. And then after that, what I did was I drove this thing all the way down to my friend's house, who live like, I don't know, like 5 to 10 minutes away, and we drove all the way down there. And but what was even more fun was I went the kind of the short way, even though it was tough, because as soon as we got down to this bottom of this hill, there was another hill which went up, and obviously the go-kart, aka the batmobile, did not like going up hills. It loves downhills, it loves to go fast, but it does not like to go up, which kind of sucks. So I'm an idiot. I should have taken the other way, but yet again, you know, would have been a little bit more issue dangerous, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so we took the short route. It was so much better. And we got there in the end, we put it in the garden, we thought we were going to do it at my house this year. Well, not this year, sorry, last year's Halloween. But obviously we didn't, so that got cancelled, so we had to do it at my friend's house. So, yeah, so technically what happened was we had the Batmobile in the garden, and I thought I was going to be going out trick-or-treating with this thing, because we left, what we did was we took it through the front door. I was surprised it actually fit through the front door. I was shocked. I was like, I never thought, I said to my friends, I said to them, I never thought I'd be bringing in my Batmobile inside of a house. And so we brought it in, we put it in the kitchen, we're like, should we leave it in here, or should we put it outside? So my friend's mum, he said, let's put it outside. So we put it in the garden outside. I thought I was going to go out trick-or-treating with this thing, but I guess not, because the main reason why we put it outside is because obviously we were setting up the decorations and things for the party, and so we got everything ready and everything, and I thought I was taking the Batmobile with me, but turned out I wasn't, so sucked. But this time we're actually, and then the next time there was another thing that went wrong, then we fixed it, and then a few months, so the next day after Halloween, I went to my friend, my friend was taking me pictures, sending me pictures saying that, you know, because it was raining and the cover was off on it, the cover blew off and went into the neighbour's garden, which felt so bad because it was an elderly. We felt so bad that. So she said to us that she had a carer coming, so the carer would throw the tarp back over. So we were like, damn it. So my friend kept showing me images and kept sending me pictures saying like, Jake, this has happened, things like that. And I was like, oh my god. And then one day I said to him, I'm coming to grab the Batmobile now. Like, I sped off, and I ran out of the house like a maniac because I thought, because the clouds looked like they were going to rain, which in the end, as soon as I grabbed the Batmobile, as soon as I left the house, basically as soon as I left my friend's house with the Batmobile, it started raining. So as soon as I got there, the car was sitting in the garden, and this really shocked my mind. I don't know how, I'm so glad we didn't lose this piece, but the door flew off. I don't know how it got over, like, the car was this way, so this is the door, and it's obviously that way, and then the door, I don't know, flies over the car, lands in a bush in the garden, and I'm like, oh my god, I recognise that white piece, and that's a white piece, so it's sitting in that, in the bush, and so I was like, okay, let's get it. So I went to go get it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the door's flown off, the things have flown off, including the bat logo, the bat logo fell off, then the afterburner fell off, and the door fell off, and I was very disappointed. So then after that, we decided, let's take this home and we can fix it another day, because it's just going to get even more and more destroyed. So I had to fix it, and then obviously more and more months later, it just keeps breaking and breaking. So we were like, what's the point of putting money and effort into this thing when clearly this car is going to break down in, I don't know, let's say like 3 to 4, well no, in a week. So we're like, okay, the whole roof's gonna come collapse again, which it did. The door kept coming off, and it was just horrible, and like pieces were flying off, and I was like, what do we do? Like, I was in shock, and so I was like, it's about time we take this whole thing down. So one time I took my final last photo, like a week or 2 weeks before I was going to take it apart, and I took it apart, and it was just so, like, it felt so weird seeing the go-kart come back, because I never thought I'd be seeing, like, the actual go-kart itself without the body on, because obviously it felt weird without it, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna keep thinking every day I have to open up the door and hop again, and then every time I got in that thing, I felt like I was in a real car. I mean, excuse me, sorry, I'm so tired. Basically, when we when I kept getting in and stuff, I felt like I was in a real car, and then every time I used to reverse, or I don't know, make sure I didn't hit anything, I'd always have to stick my head out the window, and then either turn the wheel left or right, or go like left or right, or I don't know, one or the other. And it was so fun. But I had this other idea of turning into the DeLorean time machine, which that one was even more worse than the Batmobile. It really didn't change anything. I mean, we had it only on there for 2 weeks on the Batmobile. We had this whole Batmobile body on for like, I would say, gosh, we started in August, September, October, November, December, January, February, and then March. We took the whole body off in March and replaced it with the DeLorean body from Back to the Future, and it did not work. So we scrapped the whole idea. Now it's blue, it's got black rims, it's got carbon fibre seat wrap, carbon fibre gearbox. But I really want you guys to give me some advice. If you guys want me to make a much better, a much cooler, and a much bigger and better design of the 1989 Batmobile, because I just thought about that, that would be really, really cool. Or either give me some other ideas, like what we can turn this go-kart into. Obviously not taking the tyres or anything off, but like making a body or something from a movie that's a car and plonking on top and making it look really cool. So yeah, for not a month ago, the other day I was thinking, why don't we turn it into the ice charger from Fast and Furious? And I was like, nah, let's not do that. So yeah, but give me some of your ideas. Oh yeah, before we end this video off, oh my god, we've been filming for like 21 minutes. Jeez. Before we go, I think, fingers crossed, soon we will be getting this bike and we're turning that bike into the Bat Pod. Obviously not with the guns on the side, but it's gonna look so cool. One day, we're getting in my Batman suit and we're driving this thing in the streets, dressed as Batman. And it'll be quite a new and big experience because obviously the go-kart is very, very squeaky, and obviously the people where I live are in the streets around the corner. They are kind of getting a little bit annoyed of it because obviously it is very squeaky and very loud, and so it's like, yeah, so yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the talk about the Batmobile and other things, and even including the including the Bat bike, the Bat pod, and everything. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below what you want me to make next, and turn on your post notifications and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.